everyone. Today I'm going to be doing a video on the top of some of the fishing lures that I like to use for largemouth bass. And I'm going to start off with crankbaits. So a normal crankbait would be one kind of like this, like a normal deep diver. But there's a lot of other different kinds of crankbaits. Like this is just like a normal deep diver crankbait that dives really deep and it shakes. It just gives off a lot of flash. But then there's other ones like this. This is a wiggle wart, and this normally the fatter and the bigger the bill of the crankbait is the deeper it dives, and the bigger it wiggles. And so this dives like 10 feet. I'm probably gonna guess 10 feet. And then there's some shallow diving crankbaits. This is a square bill crankbait. This is it's actually a Rapala. That's hard to read. But it says square bill in a perch color, kind of like a perch and a bluegill color. And then there's another deep diver, but the one that's different about this one is that unlike this one or this one, these two, those will give a big wide shake. This one just barely even wiggles. So a lot of times in more kind of clear water, when they're not really keen in on vibration, when they're mostly keen on sound, this is a good one because it's got some really good rattles. And then another crankbait is the lipless crankbait. So all these other ones have this bill, plastic bill. This one does not, but you can see that's flat right here, which makes the bait shake. And it has, normally these have a ton of rattle in them. Like you can almost hear them when they're under the water. So that's one of them. And then next is gonna be jerkbaits. Jerkbaits really work really well in smaller sizes like this for largemouth bass, I think. And sometimes you can use a longer version. This is a Rapala Husky Jerk, which is a really good one for twitching it, for like the twitch pause method, that you just twitch it twice and then let it pause and twitch it again. This is a cool one. It's got jerkbaits usually have tiny little bills, kind of like a crankbait, but when you jerk them, they really give a lot of shake. And then it has a little bit of rattle, not too much. And two that a lot of people have probably seen is this Rapala. I forgot what this is called. This is a Rapala, and then there's another Rapala, the Fire Tiger, which is a super popular one for walleyes. But it works really good for largemouth too. And then there's another one in a perch color but this one has a really skinny bill and a really round but skinny bill. So this one really doesn't get too much action off of it. It just kind of shakes a little bit. And I think that it's a lot better for a lot clearer water, when the water is more clear, because they can see it really good and it's really flashy. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it's really flashy. And they can see that from a long distance away in clear water. So jerkbaits are another good one. And then another really good one is, it's another one that I really like to throw around right now when it's starting to get when it gets a lot colder, is swim baits. So a normal swim bait is like this. Is a Strike King caffeine shad. This one right here. I like this swim bait a lot because it's got a big long shake in the tail. And this is a Storm mini bluegill. I think that's what this is called. It's a Storm mini something bluegill. I think it's mini bluegill. But this is a really good one. It works a lot, but I think it works better in muddy water because it has really good colors that shows up good in muddy water. And then for a lot of times there's a lot of bigger bass. Like let's say you're up at a big lake like Lake Superior or somewhere like that, like in the woods, then I would throw for those big largemouth a big swim bait like this. Like compared to this mini bluegill, Storm mini bluegill, it's a lot bigger. But these swim baits, they don't have a boot tail. They have a normal. A lot of them are a lot of times jointed. So that's another one of them. Next is another really good one for top water. What a lot of people have seen this lure before, I think, but they haven't really used it too much. It's called the Whopper Plopper, and the company that makes this is called Sea to River. And you can tell with all their baits, which is actually kind of cool, is that the eye, they put their symbol on the eye. And this is a top water bait. And it's got this tail that spins around and just like flicks water everywhere. And if you're a muskie fisherman or if you fished for muskies before, there's a lure called the Top Raider, which is a bigger version of the Whopper Plopper, which works